This short instructional video will demonstrate how really simple it is to collect buccal cells from your child's mouth. Buccal cells, which line the insides of our cheeks, form the surface of a mucous membrane. These flat, scale-like buccal cells are shed constantly as the tissue is renewed. As the old cells die, they accumulate in the saliva in the mouth and can easily be collected with a sterile cotton swab. Collecting buccal cells is yet another way for you to gather and store personal information about your child. The materials found in the IdentiChild kit include the two things you need to gather your child's buccal cells. First is a sterile cotton swab, and second is an envelope containing a card with FTA paper, which will store your child's DNA sample. FTA is an acronym meaning Fast Technology for Analysis. Okay, let's get started. First of all, your child should not eat, drink, chew gum, or brush their teeth for at least 30 minutes before collecting the cells. Before you continue, you'll need a pen and a clean drinking glass. You'll use the glass after you've collected the buccal cells. Now, to further ensure against contamination, you should thoroughly wash and dry your hands. Remove the FTA card from the envelope and write your child's name and today's date on the front of the card. Open the flap of the card to expose the small circle containing the white FTA paper. Be extremely careful not to touch the FTA paper, as doing so will contaminate the sample. Some of the FTA papers might contain letters or numbers and will not affect the collected buccal cells. Now, carefully tear back the peel end of the cotton-tipped applicator envelope and remove the swab. And again, don't touch the cotton end of the swab, as that could also contaminate the sample. Don't throw the paper carrier away, because you'll need to use it again later. Insert the cotton tip of the swab inside your child's cheeks, being careful not to touch the teeth, tongue, or gums. And firmly press against the middle of the cheek while rubbing and twirling the swab up and down and back and forth. About 10 times in each cheek is sufficient. By gently scraping the inside of your child's cheek, buccal cells are being harvested. Now, gently but firmly press the cotton swab in a side-to-side motion onto the circle of FTA paper to completely saturate the sample area. Nothing magical happens here, and there is very little visual difference in the transfer process. Now here's why you needed the empty glass. Put the swab in the glass, swab end up, to let it dry. Leave the flap on the DNA sample open and set the sample and glass holding the swab out of reach of inquisitive little ones while they both dry. When the sample and swab have completely air dried, usually an hour or so at room temperature, remember not to touch them to see if they are dry, because doing so will contaminate them. Carefully close the flap on the collection card and return it to the DNA sample envelope. If you choose to seal the envelope, you might want to write your child's name and the date the sample was taken on the back of the envelope. Return the dry swab to its paper carrier, fold over the end flap, and seal it with Scotch tape. Place the DNA envelope and the swab back inside the IdentiChild packet and file in a safe, secure place, never in the refrigerator or freezer. The buccal cells you have just collected provide an additional reliable source of personal identification for your child. For more information about child safety, visit our website at www.identichild.org.